I was thinking about Harry Styles being like, a movie is a movie whenever I say the word movie. I don't think people realise how strong you have to be as a director to turn down a version of your movie because there's a casting idea that just isn't correct for the film. You had to do so much like crazy stuff, like sexy and cryy and like all this stuff together where the person opposite you just wants you to like soar.
Hello and welcome to the BIFA Podcast, supported by Kia, hosted by me, Joy Hunter.
And me, Karis, Aldridge. Each week we'll be talking to a brand new guest about their journey into film, their most inspiring cinema-going experiences, and what makes independent film so special.
Essentially, we have convinced the British Independent Film Awards to let us fangirl over filmmakers to their face.
We have indeed, and it's been a great journey so far.
It sure has.
And this week, our guest is Imogen Poots. Oh, we love Imogen. I mean, what an incredible knowledge of film that she has. She loves independent film.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of her projects throughout her career, but also we talked about how much she sort of championed debut film directors, her biggest like film influences. She's got 2 big projects coming out at the moment, hasn't she?
She does indeed. The Chronology of Water, which is directed by Kristen Stewart. Any Twilight fans out there?
Yeah, heard of her?
Also, Hedda as well, which is directed by Nia DaCosta, another fantastic filmmaker, which is like a reimagining of the Ibsen play. So yeah, we get really stuck into that, which is really exciting.
I said 2. I should have said 3 because she's also in All of You with Brett Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein, which is now playing on Apple TV+.
Yeah,
and
putting
it's
us
really
all
fabulous.
to shame. 3 films out. It's like, how are you even doing that?
She's booked and busy.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, please enjoy our chat with the amazing
Imogen Poots.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you.
Yay, so great. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Yeah, he's always good.
No, it is amazing because you have such a long history with BIFA. You've been nominated twice, you've won once as well. So it's great to be able to kind of dig into the films that you've done with BIFA, but also just your love of independent film, which we know you have a very deep love for.
I do, yeah, it's so cool.
We'll start off with the early days, if you
Okay.
don't mind.
Yeah,
Imogen.
great.
So was there a film that you watched when you were growing up and you were like, I want to work in film?
I think there were movies where I didn't realise that they existed because everything had been sort of a very big blockbuster. Like my introduction into movies was definitely like a trip to Blockbuster and you pick a film for the weekend and that's what you watch. And obviously as a kid it was cartoons. And then I remember seeing, there's a movie called Somersault by Kate Shortland, an Australian independent film. Abby Cornish and Sam Worthington actually star in it. And the soundtrack was Decoder Ring and like the whole thing was amazing to me. And I was like, oh wow, you can make films like this. They exist. And like The Station Agent with Michelle Williams and Peter Sting, and then Wendy and Lucy, like early Kelly Reichardt stuff. So it was when I started to watch all those types of movies, I realised as an actress that you could play those parts. But I remember Abby Cornish's early work where I was like, wow, like Candy with Heath Ledger and her and those types of movies. I was just like, whoa, this is a whole
new world.
Yeah.
No,
really
but it sounds
cool.
cheesy, but it's so true. Like when you sometimes you'll see something and you're like, oh, I didn't know that we could do that. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's very like expands what you know is possible to do. Like,
yeah, and you have to start, I think like, I remember watching Somersault like obsessively, and then you suddenly find like True Romance and you're like, oh, there's a whole other, as you say, a whole other world, and then that's your entry point into Patricia Arquette stuff, and that's your entry point into David Lynch. It's endless, and it's the best feeling in the world if you're a
Great rabbit
nerd.
hole to fall
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
Was someone introducing you to that, or were you just kind of discovering off your own back?
Discovering it off my own back, and it was the same with music for me, and I think those things are just, it's so private, isn't it? The reward of that is like lifelong. Even if you forget it and lose it along the way, it's an early sign as to what you're interested in and what you care about, and then culture gets involved and tries to convince you otherwise, but you do return.
You said you're obsessive over some of those films. Are you a big rewatcher? Because I'm a big rewatcher of films.
Yeah.
Some people are like one and done, but I'm like, I'm going back again and again.
Yeah, and it's funny, the ones, I wonder if there reaches a point where you then don't rewatch after that point, because there's a bunch of movies that I will still rewatch now but they're older films.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think of anything from the last 10 years that I've rewatched.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Interesting.
It's always stuff that, like we were talking just now about that movie Girlfriends, or
Yeah.
if I think about like Mike Nichols' stuff, his films are films I watch again and again and again.
Nice.
But yeah, but I wouldn't just like go and see a movie I saw last year again yet.
Yeah, you kind of need them to like age into
marinate a little
nostalgia.
bit.
Yeah, the comfort of that.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
But it wasn't long before you were on big film sets. I think one of your first big roles was V for Vendetta with the wonderful Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of key memories on set and kind of big learnings that you then took into your career?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that set. It was the Wachowskis, and they were so nice to me and so cool and really like lugubrious people, really funny. Because I was just a kid, I was probably 14 or 15 or something. And I remember they dyed my hair, and that was really exciting.
That's cool.
Oh,
That's very cool.
But like, I'm excited by that at 27. But 14, you dye your hair, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The new me.
Yeah.
That was really exciting. And then I remember I got like a weird rash from the hair dye, and I was like embarrassed about that. I was like, is that a me thing? Not meant to be an actress. And then there was
It's
like
a sign.
there was a sign. There was snacks everywhere that was sort of exotic. And then I remember Natalie Portman being so smiley, and we had to like use her moisturizer at one point in the makeup trailer, and I was like, oh my god, and they were using her like, I think it was like the Clinique moisturizer, and I just remember that being like, this is a big moment.
Nice.
That's amazing.
And you put that on, and then you became an amazing actress. From
Yes,
the power of
that's
Portman.
what happened. That's what happened. Yes.
So that was your first film credit. I mean, what an amazing film!
I
to have as
know.
your, like that's amazing lore. Like,
It's so crazy, and we were in Berlin for it as well, and yeah, the whole experience was so cool and a really kind experience too, because it can go either way, I'm sure, with when you're a kid and you're on those film sets. But yeah, they were awesome.
in those sort of like formative days, was there a film that you watched at a cinema or on the big screen, and you were like, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm like watching this in the cinema?
Actually, there are a couple of experiences, and I wouldn't say it's formative because I think at this point I was probably 18, but I remember seeing The Dark Knight in the movie theatre, and I remember it being sold out, and a bunch of friends and me went, and Heath Ledger's performance in that is so other.
It's off the charts, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really just like a bulldozing performance, and the movie itself was just so exceptional. And I remember that experience during the film, and of course those were the days, which I hope still happen, and I think they do, where it was just like packed.
Yeah.
I actually went to Civil War. I saw Civil War recently in the cinema, and it was a similar experience. I was on my own, but it was like packed, and it was the best way to watch a movie. I was thinking about Harry Styles being like, a movie is a movie whenever I say the word movie.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Everyone hated it on him for that clip, but I was like, I do.
I get you
know
get
what
it.
mean.
Yeah, you get it.
I know. I was
He
like,
was
yes.
making sense. Yeah.
Justice
He was.
for Styles.
He actually,
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, I know. I think about that all the time whenever I say
Justice
it.
for Harry.
But yeah, it was like a really Hollywood experience as an audience. And I remember being like, this is an amazing film, amazing performance. And all of we were all completely just like
In
locked
awe.
in. Yeah.
And the
incredible.
IMAX as well. I think it's like with Christopher Nolan, it's like he was doing kind of indie level filmmaking, but at such a grand level.
Yes.
That's what kind of made it super special
and
as
the
well.
characterization in those films, all of his movies actually are right, because even Inception or something, it's just like they're real people with troubles and issues and rewards and celebrations and hurdles, but in the kind of genre that he does, it was so cool.
So you went to Civil War on your own.
That's right.
Karis and
Popular gal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
We love a solo cinema
yeah, I
trip.
really do.
And we're trying to really push that agenda on people. 'cause
Yeah, it's my
like,
favourite
people,
thing
yeah,
in
don't
the
go.
world.
Do you have a routine? Is there a particular snack? Have you got a particular seat? Have you got any cinema going etiquette?
It's always a last minute decision, and it always feels very urgent, and then it's just like, I'll run. I will, because near where I live, there's a couple different cinemas, and I will just sprint to them.
Because you're in New York based,
I'm in
you
Brooklyn,
said. Yeah,
yes.
so is it an Alamo Draft House type vibe?
Can be that. There's BAM, which is always really good.
Okay, nice.
BAM's always wonderful because they always have all sorts of things on there.
Yeah.
Film Forum is my favourite place in New York because they have seasons of sort of, they'll do like a Fellini season.
Oh,
and
that's
you're always
so
like, maybe one
cool.
day I'll make that. But they have really great movies there. Yes, snacks are essential. Popcorn mixture, and then
I feel like the American popcorn buckets are also like triple the size, or am I? Is
no,
that
you're right.
a
and also,
misunderstanding?
but they're also wet because of the butter. I don't like that. Don't
Oh,
like
of
that one.
course, the butter.
Who wants wet? Why would you want a wet pour in
Yeah.
the snack? No, thank you.
Yeah.
I've had a really
And then you're
visceral
like,
reaction to
I
that.
know, it's
really hate
really
that.
Having to wipe it on the chair.
Soupy snack. No, you want like a nice dry entry point, and then a
Nice dry
big
crunch.
Diet Coke, I think.
Yes.
Bit of
very
DC,
good.
can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
lovely.
It's a really nice experience.
Yeah,
by
from the
yourself.
tap, not the bottle as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Like whenever we ask those questions, I'm like ready to sort of agree with anyone, but like there are correct answers, and I feel like you have
There
got
are.
them.
I mean, I like a foam banana as well. Do you remember like pick and mix?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yes,
yeah.
Sorry, I lost you for a second, then
It's
I'm
all right.
back. I'm back in
It was
the
a bit,
room.
yeah, there's no context there at all.
Imogen Poots
Yeah,
brings
the-
like foam bananas to the cinema. I don't know what she's doing. She's talking about pick and mix.
But just like a nice, nice box of foam bananas.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
sure.
Good.
I'm
love
liking the
that.
yes-anding that's going on with this.
Oh yeah, we
Absolutely.
back it. We back it.
Good.
We're here to talk about cinema, but like really, we're here to talk about snacks. Do you know what I mean? Fab. And you've been in a lot of horror films
Yes.
in your time. You were in
Yeah.
28 Weeks Later,
Yeah.
which was obviously big BIFA film.
Yeah.
And horror films in the cinema are banging. Is there like a scariest moment you've had watching a horror, or something
I'm
that draws you to that genre?
Hopeless with horror. I
Really?
really. I
You've
mean,
been in so many.
I know it's mad.
Because it's not scary on set to actually film it, right?
No.
Like it kind of
Ah.
you're like demystifying it when you're
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more sort of like arts and crafts. Like that's why I love horror movies, because all the people who make that shit are just, they're amazing
so
artists.
ultra creative as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's sort of, they're demented, and they're often really good people.
Yeah.
Like really well mannered, and they're sort of doing these obscene things in their workshops. But yeah, for me, I'm hopeless with horror. I mean, I already feel like I'm on acid all the time. It's the truth, and I think that I have to really be careful not to no more stimulation
Yeah.
in that regard. But I did see Together recently.
Mhm.
Ah,
And I
Alison Brie
loved
and
it.
Dave Franco, yes.
I thought it was just such an amazing film, and like a proper B movie, which I loved.
Mhm.
And I love the fact they're together in real life.
Yeah, I know. And all of their press around it was also pretty
It was
good
really
as well.
clever, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Very
which was
smart.
great.
Yeah. I also just sort of have an argument for codependency, which I think the film really doesn't support in the end, but I just liked things about that, you know?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Well, I just think there's so many algorithms these days about like what's healthy and what's unhealthy in a relationship, and what's right and what's wrong. And I guess this is tie into, because Brett and I have just been talking about all of you so much. I'm just getting really tired of the sort of, there's a right way to be in a relationship. I think like just be obsessed with each other. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. Fair
Just
enough.
be obsessed with one another and don't worry about it. And if it ends in flames, at least like you had a best friend for a while. Like that's really nice.
That's lovely. I
Is
like
it?
that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the film then. So how did you come on board for all of you? Like when did that script come across your desk? And
It was so cool. I was filming in Santa Fe at the time. I did a show called Outer Range, which was kind of like a sci-fi western. And so we were all kind of sat around in the middle of kind of a western pasture wearing cowboy hats or whatever. And and I was reading that script and I thought it was so cool. And it's always a surprise when something comes into your life that you just didn't anticipate. And that movie is so romantic, and it was so, just the characters and what they're up against was really interesting. It was so complicated. I had great compassion for all of them. And then I spoke with Brett, and we just really got on immediately, and that was really special. And Will as well, and it just felt very right, and like we were the right people for each other, you know, to make that film. It was really
So
cool.
you didn't know Brett before that?
No, I didn't
That's
know
so
him at all.
interesting.
Strangers on a Zoom. That's what we were.
that's where it all began.
Yeah,
Nice.
but it's crazy that because you do, and I'm sure everyone has told you this, but you guys have got such incredible chemistry in that film. So like, how do you go about building such intimacy with someone that, as you've said, is kind of a stranger on Zoom?
I know, it's so mystifying to me. I mean, we just, from that moment, just became like best buds, and we just really understood one another. And then making the film together was amazing because we had to do so much like crazy stuff, like sexy and cryy and like all this
Yeah.
stuff together, where the person opposite you just wants you to like soar, and you both want the best for the project. And because also they'd worked on it for like with all indies, they'd worked on that film for like 10 years or something before we even
Right.
made it. So you don't want to hire the wrong guy to play Laura, you know?
Yeah, it's mad the sort of graft that goes on behind getting those films made.
Yep.
I didn't realise that until I was like working in the industry, like how much time it takes just to get a project away, and like how those things
yeah.
are in the lockup for so long, and then when they
Yeah.
finally come to fruition, it just must be so
I
satisfying.
know, and people are like remortgaging their houses to make these films. Like, it's a miracle that things get made, and it shouldn't be, and it's just hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, my normal job aside from this is film sales and distribution. So I would say 80% of my time is trying to get independent films financed, and it is
a nightmare.
Nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah.
Truly,
I know.
it really is about alchemy and like stars aligning. Every time it happens, people are like, "Okay, let's just recreate that." It's like you can't really. It's just
no. I don't think people realise how strong you have to be as a director to turn down a version of your movie because there's a casting idea that just isn't correct for the film. But that casting idea might get it made, but then it's not the film that you wanted to make anymore. And it takes a lot if you're being handed an opportunity to make your film, but it's the wrong version of it, to walk away from that and to hold out. A friend of mine's just done that. And he held out, and now he's going to do it with Sam Rockwell, and it's absolutely perfect, and it's brilliant, and it's meant to be that way. But it's sort of having that
will
to wait. Yeah. It's really not easy.
And like trust your creative instincts as
I
well.
know.
I think must be really tricky
Against
in
all
those
the pressures.
moments.
Yeah. So hard.
Yeah. And against the money as well.
Yeah.
Which is a difficult balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with all of you, it's kind of become part of a canon of films that are kind of in this Black Mirror-esque space that is using sci-fi as a genre to explore these themes of modern relationships and intimacy.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about sci-fi, or like kind of using parts of it to tell these stories and explore modern relationships?
It's so cool, isn't it? Because I guess it always frames it in a way where an audience is able to have some distance from it. Especially with something like All of You, are dealing with, you know, a very like controversial character choice in that she's having an affair, and that can open the doorway for so much judgment. But then if you're framing it with this sort of scientific option, then it gives a little more distance, and there's more of an experiment that's being interrogated than sort of people's behaviour. But I think sci-fi's always offered that. Like I've always thought about like Sigourney Weaver's performance in Alien, and how the genre of that film enabled like one of the greatest female performances of all time to like have a chance. And then at the same time, you know, obviously there's just a socio-political Trojan horse that's always really cool. I think that's always a big draw for a lot of filmmakers.
Yeah.
And it's also weird right now, of course, because it's sort of never been more the proximity of sort of AI or something. It's no longer this kind of imagine if. It's a real
immediate
problem. Yeah. Very, very spooky. So I think that's probably why.
The sort of experiment at the heart of All of You is this sort of futuristic thing, but it's like emotional experience of the characters is like perfectly relatable for right now. But yeah, love on screen, man. Do you have a favourite rom-com?
Well, Heartburn is one of my favourites, which is Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep.
I've not seen the film, but I have read that book.
Isn't it great?
So many times. It's my favourite book. I've bought it for all my friends, and I've never seen the film, which is so insane. Because like, why haven't I watched it? I know I'll love it.
I know, and the book is so great. Because doesn't the book have all of the recipes?
It has all the recipes all the way through.
It's so good, isn't it?
Oh, it's a banger.
The film holds up. It's so amazing. There's a scene where they're eating pizza together, and it's just a delight. It's just one of my favourite scenes in a film. I think it's so beautiful. So I love that movie. That's probably my favourite romantic rom-com. There's also a movie called Falling in Love. Have you seen that?
Oh, I don't think so. Tell us about it.
It's Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep. She's married, and then she sees him on a train, and it's so romantic. And it's like set around Christmas time. And
best setting for a rom-com,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's really, really very, 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 very good.
Ooh, the Streep can do no wrong.
She
really,
can't.
Can she?
No, she can't.
Speaking of legends, you also worked on another indie film, The Father, with Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. Thank you. Brilliant film. I'll never forgive you. It broke my heart. Oh my God, it was a full-on film. Yeah, if anyone's not seen it, you sort of watch it from the character Anthony Hopkins' perspective, right? And he's dealing with Alzheimer's, and you're sort of as confused as he is, like from his perspective.
Yeah.
And that did well at BIFA, that film, another brilliant British indie. I'd love to ask you about what it was like on that set.
They were extraordinary. There's a similarity between the two of them as actors. They're just so fun. They're both very mischievous and they were really happy to be there still. I think sometimes you meet people who they don't want to be there anymore, and you wonder why. Well, you know why, but it's sad to see that. They are electric, and I love her so much. She's an incredible actress to watch up close, to share scenes with, and just so funny and so cool and hilarious. And he's amazing. I mean, he was just listening all the time and just doesn't miss a thing. And there are a couple of moments during the filming of that where if I had questions or I was sort of trying to work something out, he was completely there with me. He's not an actor who's only thinking about he was the lead of the film, he had enough on his plate, but I could tell that for him it was an ensemble piece, and he's a caretaker in that way. But just an amazing experience. I couldn't believe it. I remember coming home from work and being like, oh, I'll always remember those days.
What a special film, honestly. And you were working with Florian Zeller directing.
Yes.
What was it like working with him?
Florian's so cool, and obviously he'd written the play, which is such an extraordinary thing to then make a movie based off your own play is sort of wild. I mean, that must have been so cool for him having Anthony Hopkins star as the lead of his film.
I mean, it's basically a dream come true. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, you can't really aim for much more than that.
Actor.
And I think Isabelle Huppert did his other play in France, so he's kind of really knocked it out the park with every actor. Yeah.
It's interesting. You seem to have worked a few times with debut feature directors.
Yeah.
Obviously, Florian, and then Kristen, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in a second, amongst many others. Is there something that you find specifically very exciting about working with someone on their debut feature?
Yeah, I think it's so... I mean, everyone's different, but you just meet people, and there is a passion to make something and it is life or death. And when I say people remortgaging their houses to make a movie, I'm not joking, because the stakes are so high. And usually if someone's stuck with a story for that long, it's not just going to be a run-of-the-mill idea. It's normally something that's quite unique and singular. And debut filmmakers or people who've made their first feature and now they're making their second, it's a really exciting pocket to be in. And it's a beautiful thing to work with someone at the start of their career. And it means a great deal to be hired by those people, because it's like your first love, your first project. I mean, 28 Weeks Later for me was like a romance almost. It's like those films which just, it's the beginning of the rest of your artistic career, and they matter so much. And so I love working with first-time directors. And there are first-time directors, and then there are people who are just born to do it, and those experiences are very, very special.
And I guess it's quite interesting, you saying obviously it was a play beforehand. Do you feel like he brought some of the theatre aspects to the screen?
Yeah, I think just letting the scene play out was cool. I remember particularly, I think my character was sat on the couch, and Anthony Hopkins' character I remember him standing, he was doing a dance, and it was the three of us in the scene. And it did feel like a stage play. It didn't feel like, filming. But at the same time, what's so clever about it is Florian was able to translate it from the stage to the screen, because you're having to put the audience in a visual experience as opposed to just a spatial one, and trying to recapture or be okay with not capturing the exact thing that you did in the theatre. It'll have to be a different iteration of that for the film. Is such a risk. I don't know, if I'm honest, it didn't feel super theatrical. It still felt like we were making a film, which is good. And I wonder if it would have been a problem if it felt like we were kind of filming a play.
Right, yeah. That is felt from an audience perspective as well, when it
exactly.
feels a little bit too static.
Yes, because you want to discombobulate, what a word, them.
Nice.
Got it out.
Yes.
It's surprising. But you want to do that to the audience with the camera, I guess.
So that was a play adapted for screen, and then your latest project, Chronology of Water, is a memoir adapted for screen, directed by Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Obviously, everyone knows Kristen Stewart as an amazing actress.
Yes.
What's it been like working with her as a director?
It's my favourite thing to talk about, because I am so proud of her. And I'm proud of her because she's exceptional and she was born to do it, and that we got to do it together. But I wonder if people really realise how brave it is. She is perceived as being an exceptional actor with an incredible body of work and the calibre that she always delivers on. But to then say, I'm going to try something else with the world, watching you, that's no easy feat or decision. But
I've never thought about it like that, because I guess if you start without that, all that fame,
Yeah.
in a different discipline. Like you can make a few
Far
like
safer.
I mean,
Yeah.
luckily the film was great, but you can make a few like crappy shorts and not
Oh,
many people
yeah.
will see. It's not like
Right.
everyone's gonna watch them.
Yeah, there's an extra
Absolutely.
layer of
Yeah,
scrutiny.
my God,
for
I didn't even think about that
sure.
pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she pulled it off. So
She did, and who knows, by the way, if she even felt that.
yeah,
Because there's something about Kristen which is just, she just has to do it, and she will do it. And there's a fire to that. But from an outsider watching, I was like, wow, it's amazing, because fear is the thing that prevents so many people from making their feature.
Yeah.
Or that like they think they have to kind of curate it in such a way where it will get funding and it will, and I understand all of that caution. But yeah, she just went and she fucking did it, and she's so brilliant at directing. She as a person is my favourite person to be around, and just despite everything that I think she has experienced as a movie star, her life is incredibly tactile and real, and I think that's why she's able to bring what she does to the screen, but also as a director have that just immense emotional, like a rapacious appetite, for humanity. Like she's so curious.
And yeah, it is curious that actually, like when someone is an actor, that they're able to kind of speak a special language to other actors on set. Did you feel that it was different, the fact that she had that background?
I couldn't say if we work in a similar way because I don't know the intricacies of how she works as an actress, but there is something just easy in communicating with each other. But there is also, we're both really honest, and I mean, in my own life, I'm sort of like in the wind. I'm just so sensitive, and I'm just like, but at work, there's a
relatable
kind of
stuff.
yeah, I just can't do it. But with work, it's sort of, you can just be like, push, push, and I'll just be like, yes, again. And I think that we both have that kind of, we need to communicate the truth. We know the other one can take it. There's no skin removed. It's just, I think you are the greatest director in the world. She had so much belief in me. We both want the thing to be the best it can be. I want everything for her. I know she wants everything for me. And that is an incredible dynamic to have, and relationship to have, and friendship. And so I think that made any day on set just so easy.
Yeah, you're sort of like serving the higher like mission of the work, and it's nice. And then the ego goes away, which is a lovely thing.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, I don't want to be like, you're making music together, but it's like we've got to make it the best we can, and you're all there because you all believe in each other. So that's the kind of deal. You know?
It's a special feeling on set when you feel all those like things like, pulling
absolutely.
together. When you were working with Kristen Stewart, were you like exchanging film references? Like were you watching films together?
Actually, no,
like...
Kristen did tell me about a lot of movies, and she sent me a long list before we started making the film, and then we would send each other a lot of books as well. Like Kathy Acker was one of Lydia's huge influences.
Lydia, who wrote the memoir that got adapted.
Lydia Yuknovich, who's based on, and the life of her life. So a lot of books, a lot of music, a lot of films.
Yeah, nice. Because the films, it's very like sensory and very like atmospheric, and it's a lot of like poetic shots and montages. Yeah. I'm always so curious with films like that. What does that look like on the page?
It felt like a poem. No, it did. It felt, and it's so beatnik, and in her own way, Lydia was beatnik. She's, when she was writing that, and she'd been mentored by Ken Kesey and that whole group, so it made sense. And Kristen, in her own way, is incredibly beatnik, so it sort of all made sense. But it read like a poem, and very raw, and the like capital letters, and you felt like body fluids in the script. And even when we got to making it, for like the sex scene, and Kristen had these references that were of landscape and ocean, and she wanted to find a rock formation that mirrored the mole on my back, and everything was incredibly thought out in that way. And some of that was touched upon in the script, and then there were like other documents that went along with it, but it was all there. It wasn't sort of like, people talk about scripts like a working document, and I understand that, and that's a very freeing way to approach it, but I'd say the movie she's made is maybe not completely identical to the script, but it's certainly of that ilk. It was always going to be the film she needed to make.
Even from that opening shot, it's just so visually impressive. And so intentional, and you know that everything just feels so thought out. You know, like every shot is saying something.
Totally.
You know, like you could just pause every single moment and just like write an essay on that in itself.
Yeah, and
you
all
know?
the moments that she hasn't included, because it, you know, it's gone through so many iterations, and we spoke about it all the time when she was in the edit for it, and it's just interesting to know, like, those must be such hard choices. The kill your darlings thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's got to be so tough.
But for you, I mean, this is a tough character, and you're not someone who really shies away from that actually in your body of work. It seems like you kind of gravitate towards these quite tricky characters who are going through some very hard things. And
Brett's always like, you've done so many depressing movies. It's like Imogen's career is just like really, just like depressing people.
No, but it's
That's not true. You got like there's comedies. You got a good mixture.
Yeah, it's like,
It's not true, Brett. Come on.
We'll come for Brett on that. Actually, we'll defend you. Yeah,
it is interesting though, because I'm so curious. How do you go about making yourself so raw, so emotionally vulnerable, and like getting yourself to those places on set, and then being able to like step away from that at the end of the day and like still live a normal life? Like, do you struggle with that at all, or how's your approach?
I haven't had that experience before, where when we finished the film, I took a break for a while, and I found it quite hard to leave that one behind. And I was surprised by that. I haven't experienced that before. I had things where sort of, you know, you come off a plane or sort of you feel strange in your bones or something, but this was different, and it would make sense that the brain gets rewired because you're thinking as somebody else. And Lydia as a character, you know, what the cards she had stacked against her and how hard it was to carry on and actually do something beyond that and not be labelled or stuck or paralysed by something, but to then create something, have the idea to create something and then actually make something is so hard. And the self-sabotage that goes on with somebody like her, very, very heavy, but also an incredible, hopeful character. I think that's something that Kristen and I spoke about a lot, is that I think we're both very hopeful people, sort of pathologically optimistic, but also deeply unconvinced by what's happening all the time. But that, I think Lydia, there was just something in her that was not going to be extinguished. And that felt very urgent and important to sort of get that across. But yeah, definitely a hard character. Although saying that, I think I would be baffled if there are actresses out there who wouldn't want to play these kind of parts. I think everyone wants to play these kind of parts, but and occasionally go and like also like have a lovely time and have fun. That's really important as well. But I think a lot of, at least like the actors I'm friends with, and we'd all want to play parts that are challenging.
We're briefly interrupting this programme to let you know that
Your favourite cinema needs you. This year, BIFA have launched the inaugural Cinema of the Year Awards, supported by Kia and decided by you.
Nothing beats the feeling of watching a brilliant film on the big screen, and so we want to celebrate the cinemas that allow us to do just that. Cinemas at the heart of their communities that bring audiences together and champion independent film.
Voting is now open for cinema goers to decide the winner of Cinema of the Year. So if you love your local cinema, now is your chance to prove it.
Head to the show notes of this episode for the link to cast your vote, and tune in to BIFA's social media on Sunday 30th of November to find out all of the winners for BIFA 2025. From all of your different projects, do you have like a favourite moment from your time on set, or like a favourite memory?
I really loved making Jeremy Saulnier's Green Room. You know, we were all like in our mid-20s, very close friends, and I think all trapped in a room for 2 months in Portland, which was like a great place to be when you're in your mid-20s.
Yeah.
And hangovers weren't yet real. They were just becoming real.
Yeah.
Just walking that line.
Yeah. But that was a great time. I mean, Jeremy had made Blue Ruin before, but that was his second feature. And that had a very special feeling to it, where we were doing such like gnarly stuff, but just laughing all the time. Like just so much fun. So those were really happy memories. And I've had times since that, but yeah, there was something about that where it was just magic.
You're also a little bit of an accent chameleon, I would say. I'm sure there are a lot of people who see you and are surprised to know that you're British. Are there specific... I'm always intrigued. Like, is there a word that helps you get into a certain accent? So, like the American accent, for example, which you do have in Chronology of Water. Is there a word that helps you get into that?
Oh, that's funny.
That clicks for you?
I wonder what that is. It's probably somewhere now at this point. As an English person, your tongue is somewhere different in your mouth. And so to do the American accent, you have to move it around. But also, I've got quite a big mouth, so I'm always like blah blah blah. So you have to sort of like really wrangle your jaw to sort of not slop out a line.
Right.
So I think it's all to do with the mechanics of that maybe somewhere, but not overthinking it, because otherwise overthinking an accent is a nightmare.
I can imagine.
Because then you're just sort of, it's like you're disassociating from everything.
I guess also you're around a lot of Americans if you live in New York as well. So that's probably
I always forget that's it. And I think I feel myself getting more English than ever, which is
I find that when I'm in the US, I'm like extra.
Yes.
I like almost like bring on this weird kind of like semi-cockney. I'm like, I'm so British. It's like, okay, that's a bit that's right.
Something
that
what's going
on.
on.
So proud.
Yeah, you get so
when you're
like,
when you're outside of your own country.
Yeah, have you heard of the Jam? Yeah, something starts to happen where you just suddenly
just get your back up so much.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, well, one thing to be very proud of is our like film history.
Yes.
And I do think we punch above our weight in terms of like, especially independent film. Can you tell us something about that? Like anything about the sort of sensibility of like British filmmaking?
British filmmaking. I mean, British photography, British music. This is what I mean. Is like the English bands that have all come from the north of England, move me to tears, because I think we have the best music in the world. But there's something about British cinema, like, yes, there's like Ken Loach movies amazing, but Luna Carmoon's Horde.
Yes.
And like that movie Rye Lane, or like, I remember the year when I was 17 and it was the year that 28 weeks later, we were at the BIFAs for that. And Control was nominated, and This Is England.
Yeah.
And both of those movies were like getting loads of plaudits, and it was so cool. Those two movies are insanely good. This Is England was an incredible film, and I wish that Shane Meadows was making films all the time. I know that he did make a TV show,
but there's one in the works, isn't there? He's on his way.
Yeah, but I'm just like,
come on, Shane.
Because there are filmmakers out there, and it's great, and there are filmmakers who every year they've got a new movie out, and that's tremendous because they're clearly very good at what they do and people love their movies. But that film was really, really important, and Horde in a similar way, where it's just incredibly brilliant subject matter, really saying something, really asking something, incredible actors, visually stunning, funny, and really, really complicated.
And really weird.
Yeah,
like,
really weird.
And I mean that as a high compliment, like just unapologetically strange. It's like so nice to see something that's like, I've never seen something quite like this before. Like that's always a good feeling.
I know.
Even if it's like not something you'd revisit, or you're just like, I'm just so glad that there's people doing like mental stuff in British film still, especially when it's so hard to get anything made.
Totally.
It's so like heartening to see it.
I know Luna Carmoon's making her next movie, and I'm sure it's been a financial thing uphill to get that made. And why? Everyone in it was so great, and I thought it was a masterpiece. So that's really exciting. And I think that British independent cinema can often be perceived as being sort of bleak or dreary, and it's because of a sort of undereducation of what that is. And there's so much English cinema that is just wondrous. It could be because I've lived in America for a while, but American independent cinema seems just there's a wider scale that it seems to kind of adopt, or movies fall into that bracket more. Whereas I think in the UK there seems to be a idea that there's a thinner bracket, but there shouldn't be. You know, what's perceived as like a studio film or an indie. Yeah,
there can be that sort of perception that it's all depressing, but it's not. Like there's and especially when you look at like what comes through BIFA every year, it's such an amazing range. It's
always amazing, and it's really uplifting. And I just think, I vividly remember that year and being like, whoa, those two films are insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
We've had a lot of This Is England mentions on this podcast.
Really, have you?
Yeah, I think it's such a seminal film for so many people.
Yeah.
So it's great that it's getting all the airtime because
good.
as it deserves
As it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing you talk about amazing female filmmakers because it seems like obviously Kristen you're working with, and then with Hedda you've got Nia DaCosta who is incredible. I'm so excited to kind of hear what your experience was like working with her.
Yeah,
because she's done some amazing film with Candyman,
she has,
Marvel, so she's gone kind of big and small as well.
Totally, and it was so cool because her and Tessa had been friends for a long time, and obviously they worked together on. It was called Littlewoods.
Yes,
here.
Yeah,
and I think they met at the Sundance Labs or something like that with that movie. But it's so cool to watch them collaborate, and I'm really happy that Nia got to make this film because she made the other movies she's made, and that's tremendous, and she wanted to do that. But I think this was the film and the adaptation she'd written that she always wanted to get to. And it's really authentic to what she's interested in, what she cares about. And that's always really satisfying to watch a filmmaker not return to something smaller, but be able to do that. And, you know, she got Sean Bobbitt, her amazing cinematographer, and she got the cast she wanted. Nina Hoss. I mean, I've been a fan of Nina Hoss's work forever, and a huge part of why I wanted to do it was to do the scenes with Nina.
Yeah.
And she's just amazing in the film, and she's so incredible. So, yeah, it was a really cool group of people. I'm just so thrilled for them that the film's getting seen, and, you know, because you just don't know with these things if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's getting an amazing reaction,
Yes.
and obviously it's going to be playing imminently
Yeah,
here,
totally.
which is exciting.
Yeah.
But it's a 1950s reimagining of the Henrik Ibsen play.
That's right. Yeah.
Source material that I think has been kind of interpreted many times over.
Yeah.
What do you feel like she's trying to kind of achieve through her adaptation?
Well, it's interesting because I saw it on stage. I saw Ruth Wilson do it. She was so amazing.
Oh my god, I watched the NT live.
Did
of that,
you?
and it blew me away when she like gets the gun out into the crowd.
Yes. She was hissing.
It was wild.
She was like hissing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so amazing. She was so good in that. And that was a very special one to see because obviously that was, I don't even know if I'd say like it was a modern take, but it was a take.
Yeah.
And I do feel, this is just from my own experience, I didn't go to drama school. I didn't really study drama or anything. So it was an ex-boyfriend of mine actually who gave me a stack of plays in my early 20s, and he was like, you've got to read these. You'll love them. And that was my entry point into a lot of American playwrights, but also just playwrights in general. I hadn't read like Eugene Ionesco. I hadn't read Ibsen. I hadn't read any of these people. And I'd read a bit of Shakespeare, but I didn't know if I was a fan. So...
but it's hard because like if you don't have someone to teach you those like... If you're just left with it with no like help to interpret,
it's intimidating.
It's like it's very intimidating. It's very intimidating.
And when you cover it at school as well, I feel like Shakespeare. I don't know if that's actually the right environment to like
you should
be
go and just
introduced
be,
to
like,
Shakespeare.
By
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I agree.
There's a real like disenchantment that happens with a lot of those playwrights. I think through like education, but I just think they can seem a bit dusty and a bit inaccessible, and that's not the case, of course, because that's why they're great plays, because they're deeply accessible. But it's quite nice that there's a movie version of Hedda. Tessa's so magnetic and it's such an interesting character. And they haven't either no one fell victim to like, let's do like Hedda, social media Hedda or something. You know what I mean? It's not like Hedda with an iPhone or something. Where it's like, the kids will love it. It's like, I think they're smarter than that. But
there are a few misses.
In
this world, it can go a little bit wrong.
So.
But there are some great hits. Like, it's a fine line that like reinterpreting an old text. But
I know it's a real.
Like sometimes you pull it off and it's like amazing. Like I really liked the Dorian Gray with Sarah Snook. I thought that was like an incredible. I was like, that's done really well. And then other times you watch it, it's like.
We don't need it.
I did do drama GCSE, and I'm like,
no, I know it can feel a bit like
drama GCSE.
Devised pieces.
But I like I do, even though some of them miss. I like it when someone takes a risk and you go for it.
I like the subgenre. This is a bit of a tangent. Apologies, but I do quite like the subgenre of interpreting Shakespeare, like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
You know,
such a great movie.
that is a subgenre that I
Yeah.
am a big fan of, and I'm like, let's
I
do more of
agree.
that. But
Endless
anyway,
time for that. Yeah.
Julia Stiles in that scene when
Yeah.
she breaks down.
Yeah, which was improvised.
Oh,
Incredible. So
Was
good.
it improvised?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
Julia.
Yeah.
Another amazing Heath performance as well.
I
Oh,
know.
oh my god.
Gosh,
Yeah.
we miss him.
Sorry.
Sorry, I do feel like I
No, no, no.
accidentally took us completely
No.
off track there. We were talking
No, not at
about the
all.
Hedda adaptation. But it's interesting, sorry, about your character, because I think in the original play, it's quite a submissive character, I think, or can be
Yeah.
interpreted in that way.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I haven't got to see it yet because we're planning to watch it as it comes out.
Cool.
But I've seen a lot of critics really praising the way that you've been able to add so much depth and
Yeah.
levels of the character
Yeah.
in giving her a lot more agency than maybe was originally on the page. Is
Yeah.
that something that you were very conscious of and having conversations with Nia about?
It's interesting because when you make a film, you shoot things, not everything ends up in the film. But there was a moment in the script where Thea removes her wedding ring and she throws it across the room. And I can't remember if that's in the film or not, but it's that moment for me was a setup for this person and the stakes of what they've just done. That's where I was like, wow, that's it to me. And I really just was so intrigued and involved from that point onwards. We've done a lot of Q&As in relation to the film, and Tessa has spoken about this, and we'll probably talk about it more, which is Hedda has a lot of kind of impulses, but you could argue there's a cowardice there that she doesn't actually act on them. But that's like for Tessa to speak about, 'cause that's Tessa's character. Tessa's character when she's not here. But it feels like Thea has the agency, well, she finds the agency. She doesn't have the agency, but she finds the agency to act on her impulses. But she is a bit sort of a nervous Nelly, and she's clearly very sort of strung up and involved with Loveborg, obsessed with Loveborg. And so I think all of that is kind of very interesting to play, especially when you're face to face with characters who aren't brave enough.
And also, because we've not seen the trailer, the costumes, Imogen, the costumes look amazing.
They are absolutely exquisite,
Yeah.
extraordinary. My character wears a dress that's meant to not fit her properly because it's one of Hedda's dresses that she borrows.
Ah, I see.
So I had a strange relationship with my dress, but it's a very beautiful dress. Off the body, stunning.
Nice.
You know, it's one of those dresses, just off the body, absolutely 10 out of 10.
Have you ever taken a piece of like costuming home? Like,
Yes, I made a film about Jeff Buckley in my early 20s, Jeff and Tim Buckley, and it was all 90s clothes, but like really like fun, random finds. And I think I took everything from that job with me. That's just very
I
great.
could never be an actor because I just nick everything.
right,
know.
yeah. Do
They
you get in
booked,
trouble
they'd
for
be
it, or
like,
do you
"Don't
just
let that
like,
girl
you
off."
hope that they don't notice?
No, I definitely ask permission. I
Okay,
do ask
fine.
the permission, yeah.
Nice,
Otherwise,
nice. Good
burning those bridges.
Yeah, and that's why you've got a long career.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out. There might have been something along the way, though, that I did like a lot of my costumes in all of you, actually.
Yeah, nice.
We
You
had
had
a
great
Our
costumes.
costume designer, Nat, also did Horde. So he's
Brilliant.
very clever.
Oh, fab.
Yeah.
Do you have a wardrobe that you would want to steal from a character in a film you've seen? I know
Oh
you've
my
spoken before
goodness.
about Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, which would probably be, that would be my answer. Would be I want to nick those dresses.
Yeah, those outfits are so great. Oh my gosh, I've probably gone through lots of different, like there was probably a period of time where Virgin Suicides, I would have wanted those clothes.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
a good one.
I mean, Girlfriends is really fun. Any sort of 90s New York film. Patricia Arquette in True Romance is a very specific niche moment. That leopard print coat, we've all done it.
I actually haven't done it because I'm with something like that. I'm like, that is such an iconic thing that I have to find the perfect one. And I've
Yes.
never found the perfect one, so I never got one.
It does have
but
to
it
be,
will
it's
happen
like
at
the
some point
Penny
in my
Lane
life.
coat. It's like
Yes,
you gotta,
exactly.
otherwise
Exactly.
it's just like hairy chest. It's got to be the right thing. But I guess like David Bowie, I mean, the suits that some of these people wore,
Yeah, those like 70s big lapels.
ah,
Nice.
that would be nice.
And you are someone who, I think you've admitted that you like to reach out to filmmakers that you admire, and that's probably
Yes.
opened you up to some amazing opportunities.
Yeah.
Are there future filmmakers that you would love to work with?
Always. And it's always good to send the note because you never know if it will lead to something. But also I think most people like to know that their work is appreciated. And I think you can underestimate the health of people's egos. And actually, it's good to let people know if you want to work with them again. And I've been really lucky with a couple of people that I've sort of not gone after, but I followed the work of and then asked to kind of hang out and meet. I'd love to work with my friend Azazel Jacobs again. We did French Exit together, and Azazel just had great success with 3 Daughters.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But his early work, like Terry, he's really, and The Lovers was another movie he made. He's an amazing filmmaker. I think like one of the really rare ones that exist. I'd love to work with Azazel again.
We've manifested it now. It's out. It's out in the sphere, so it's coming.
We can't wait to see it. Fab.
I think Luna should also be on that list.
Who should?
Luna.
Oh, Luna Commune. Yes,
Yeah.
I would. Yes, I would love to work with Luna Commune. That would be the dream. That's the other thing. Is it's like, you know, they have to. It's a 2-way street. They have to work with you too. But then I think about Shane Meadows. I think about Anton Corbijn. Like, I just want them to make those movies again. Not those movies, but more movies. And I'm sure they're trying to.
They're coming. They're in the pipeline.
Who's
we
funding
have
them?
to hope.
Yeah.
Come on, BIFA, do your thing.
Come on. I know.
So we do like to kind of end the podcast with a couple of very fun, quick-fire questions.
Okay, great.
Do you have a favourite film quote?
Yes. In Badlands, and I might butcher it, but it's a version of this, after they've just made love for the first time for Sissy Spacek's character, and I think she says something like, "Is that it?" Or like, that's what everybody's talking about? And I just thought that was
Iconic.
really good. Yeah,
so
devastating
good.
line.
Yeah, so good.
I love that. Is there a role that you wish that you had played?
I would have loved to have like done like animated, like a bug or something, you know, like an animated voice, an animated character, in, like A Bug's Life.
Amazing.
Nice.
That's a good.
Nice.
We've not had anyone say something like that
Okay,
before.
cool.
Yeah, I feel like Bug's Life is like,
That's
I keep
great.
seeing like clips of it on social media
It's
when they're like,
so funny.
Bug's Life
It's
is
so
like a
good.
communist like manifesto because it's like all the like insects like rising up against the grasshoppers.
I mean,
I was like all of that was kind of
that was
missed on me when I was
definitely
watching it when I
on
was
5-year-old
like
me. Yeah, I was
five.
like, oh, I totally get this
oh,
communist
cute little
manifesto.
Yeah, no.
A Bug's Life is great.
Is there a film you've rewatched the most?
I think Girlfriends is the movie I
Nice.
watch again, and Walking and Talking. They're kind of very similar films.
Fab.
One that could be fun, because you've mentioned your love of music, is favourite film soundtrack or score.
Ooh, the score to Mustang, the Turkish film. Warren Ellis, who plays with Nick Cave in The Bad Seeds. So I think Warren Ellis is in The Bad Seeds. Warren Ellis did the score for Mustang, and it is one of the most extraordinary pieces of music. I listen to it all the time.
Ooh,
And shout out to Daniel Blumberg, who's a very good friend of mine, who did The Brutalist and won the Oscar. I guess.
Not bad.
So
Not
good.
bad.
He's
Score is amazing.
Yeah, and he's got Mona Fastfold's film next, and Daniel is very talented.
Is there a film you pretend to have seen but secretly you haven't?
Oh my god, like every movie ever, like Third Man. I'm like, I love that. This is Third Man. It's so crazy that it's not Second Man, it's the Third Man. Third Man.
Perfect. We appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
Appreciate your honesty. Well, I think that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
such
me.
a pleasure. Thank you so much.
fun.
You've given so many great recommendations as well.
Yeah,
I've
we've
got
got
lots
lots of homework.
on my watch list.
Okay,
This is
great.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best
Thank
of
you
luck
so
with
much.
the releases of
Thank you
Hedda
so
and
much.
Chronology of Water, which will be out soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the BIFA podcast, supported by Kia. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to get new episodes as they land. And please tell all of your friends about the podcast to help spread the word. We want all the film fans to be able to find us.
The BIFA podcast is supported by Kia. The hosts are Karis, Aldridge and Joy Hunter. The show is produced by Daniel Audritt and Kat Butterfield for Audacious Productions and Joy Hunter for BIFA. The assistant producer is Bruno Atkinson. Director of photography, Jude O'Connor. Audio engineers are Nathan Cooper and James Gibbons McGregor. Filmed at Fiction Studios. Special thanks to the BIFA team.